Life isn't just made up of days, it's built of moments. Some we choose, some choose us, and some change everything. Welcome to No Prep, No Problem, where today we're looking back at the moments that shaped us. A first love that didn't work out, being left home alone, the call that changed everything, and even a heart and double lung transplant. And of course, the cops were called, we had a gun show, and a trip to Japan for good measure, because life is nothing if not unpredictable. Some stories you live, some you survive. Let's talk about both.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of No Prep, No Problem with your hosts, Daniel, Matt, and Scott. Last episode, we had our first ever tie. So Daniel and Matt are both going to be the hosts today. They came up with their own topic. I'm not sure what it is yet, so we will find out.
It's pretty odd that you're describing it when we're the hosts, sir. Are you sure you don't know what the topic is?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, you guys are sharing a topic this time, right?
Yeah, of course we are.
Yeah, of course we are.
Yeah. I have no idea what it's about.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're gonna learn today.
Gonna learn today because today's topic is the stories of
The generations. Decades?
Oh,
What did we say?
decades, our lives.
Oh, story of our lives.
The story of our lives, like the song, like the story of our lives. I'll take you home, like Bon Jovi. This is the story of our life, and I write it every day. Sorry, I'm like referencing all songs that have the story of our life. Like
I
in the
have
song.
no idea what you're talking about. All right, anyways.
Was that the Jonas Brothers or something, the first one you did?
It was One Direction, the story
of
my life. And then the second one is Bon Jovi, the story of my life. So they're both the story of my life, but from two completely different artists and two completely different songs with different lyrics, different everything.
Okay, and Bon for Bon Jovi, that's short for Bonathan, right?
I think it's short for John Bon Jovi, but that's all I know about Bon Jovi.
Stupid joke, whatever.
Hey, I'm all down with the Bonds. It's fine.
Bonathan, whatever.
Bonathan. Oh.
Bonathan.
Yeah. So, Matt, where are you starting today? Because I believe it's you starting, isn't it?
So I'm starting, and we're gonna go from birth to 9 years old. So Scott, think from birth to 9 years old in your brain, and I'll share just a couple stories from mine, and then we can do a revolving door going around the circle. We're sharing the stories of our lives because.
So we're both hosting, right? So he's hosting, 0 through 9. I'm doing 10 through 19. He's doing 20 through 29.
29.
Yep, and then I'm doing 30 to now.
Okay.
So think of your favorite story for each of those decades. All right.
Correct.
And he's doing the first, I'm doing the second, he's doing the third, I'm doing the fourth.
Okay. Like I told you guys in a previous episode, I forget which one it was. I think it was episode 1, actually. I don't have a great memory, so bear with me here. I'm going to try, all off the top of the head. So
none of us have a good memory. That's fine. But Matt, why don't you go ahead and start off with your story, so we can give Scott a second to think about it.
I was born in Orlando. I was born in Florida somewhere, sometime in May, sometime around the early 90s.
And this is his favorite story of himself from that decade.
No, I'm just saying that's where I was born. Moved up to Washington for a year, moved to North Carolina. When we moved to North Carolina, I went to elementary school there. And there I met someone, I'm going to make up a made-up name, Susan. Check people's stories. Persephone? What? Persephone, fine. Persephone. I met a girl in elementary school named Persephone. And she had this she was like my best friend girl in elementary school. And I had 2 best friend guys and then 1 best friend girl. And she was the best friend girl. And she had this very unique disease where like her organs were kind of like failing from birth. And so she had to have a backpack that had like an oxygen tube from the back of the backpack, like through her back and into her lungs or something. And like Dad had to come on his lunch breaks and like swap out her oxygen tanks. It was very rough. And like at 7. And they thought the doctors thought that she wouldn't live to be but like 9-10 years old. And so we were best friends for a couple years, and then when I left that elementary school to go to the next one, I lost her phone number, I lost contact. I was just a little kid, I wasn't good at keeping track of people. And so all these years go by, and I thought that she had died because that she was only going to live to be another few years. And when I was 19 in college, I was in the lobby, and this random goth chick just like runs up to me and goes like, "Are you Matt from like the elementary school, blah blah blah?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, it's me, and I had a heart and double lung transplant, and I lived. Hi." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Do you still talk
It
to
was
Persephone?
amazing. Persephone, yeah, she we talk on a rarest occasion, like we do. I feel like with most of our Facebook friends from everyone in our lives. But she does have a really awesome like an Etsy, and she makes like handcrafted like pouches and purses and wallets and all kinds of cool things. And so I'm buying one soon. But yeah, so I mean, it's cool. You have those people that you think are gone, and then 12 years go by, and then they're like, oh my gosh, they're alive. That was so cool.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah. Maybe we should drop a link to that Etsy page at some point. That'd be pretty sweet.
We could put it in the show notes, most definitely. Send that
Yeah,
to me
put it in the
sometime, Matt.
Show notes, and I'll get her info and stuff. See if it's okay for her to have it on there. Maybe she'll get some following and stuff, because it really is. She really makes some really nice stuff.
Cool.
Wow. So
Yeah.
she's your like our age and doing
Yeah,
great.
she's our age. Yeah, she's doing just fine. Last I checked on her,
double lung transplant.
heart and
That's
double
wild.
lung. Yikes! I know it's yeah. She's doing mostly great. I think her health's good. The last I checked on her, so I'll check on her again today, I guess. But yeah, it's just a really really cool story from elementary school time for me. Daniel, what would yours be?
Oh, all right. So the like a defining moment in my childhood for me, which is really stupid. We're gonna call it Daniel's failed first kiss.
From 0 to 9, really?
Yeah, this is elementary school, dude. Yeah,
The first and only.
Oh yeah, no, this is I was young. It had to have been 4th grade. I was really into this one chick. We'll call her Persephone. And she liked me back. But I was not very mature yet. She wanted to kiss me something fierce, and I was not mature or ready for that. So we were out on the playground, right? And she tried to kiss me, and I was like, no. And next thing I know, she enlists 3 other guys from our class to chase me down and try to grab me and like get me to go over to her so that way we could kiss. And I'm like, I don't want to kiss you. Even though I was super into her, I was like clearly not old enough or mature enough for that. But she really wanted to kiss me because, little girls mature faster than boys. I very, very distinctly remember just outrunning these guys on the playground for like 40 minutes straight, 30 minutes, whatever it was. And like they grabbed me a couple of times. They tried dragging me over to where she was at this there was a tree with a giant rock underneath it. It was actually really kind of a very romantic idea. No, was not ready. Not at all. And while that doesn't seem like a lot to the story, there wasn't much more to it than that, other than like me and her, we'd been super good friends from even kindergarten, right? So kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, like we were friends up until 5th grade. We, went to different middle schools, so we never reconnected, unfortunately. But yeah, that's the very very short tale of Daniel's failed first kiss. It did end with me staying away from her for a little while. The boys kept trying to drag me over to her, and they couldn't. I was too wiggly. They couldn't keep me in their grasp.
To be fair, you do wiggle pretty well. So
Wiggle.
that was like wiggle wump.
Wiggle woo. Yeah, that was actually a very defining thing for me. I have no idea why. It's something that's just kind of stuck with me over the years. And it's like, huh, why was I such a pansy back then? Eh, I grew out of it. I
Because you were
like
like
kissing
7.
girls now.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's see, fourth grade, I would have been
like
isn't that
9
nine?
maybe.
I think yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's like right
Yeah,
at the top end of
yeah,
that, isn't it? Yeah.
but
yeah.
still,
Yep. That was a very defining thing in my youth.
it made you who you are today.
Yeah, if I'd kissed her, I might still be her boyfriend. Actually, so part that I left out, she was a twin.
Oh
Oh, okay.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, I
So
know
there's
where this is
Persephone,
going
and then
already.
her twin sister Persephone. So Persephone and Persephone. Okay. And it ended up that I had classes with one or the other every year until I graduated. And according to my mother, I was both of their boyfriends.
They may have tricked you and you didn't know. Who knows?
Wait, until you
They may have
graduated high school or
I have no
graduated
idea.
elementary, middle? When you say graduated, what do you mean graduated?
Well, yeah, that's what they still call it when you graduate from one grade to the next. It's still a graduation.
Yeah,
Okay, I
okay.
was thinking high school too, like
I know,
No,
you
no,
just
no,
keep
no.
doing it with the
No, this
graduation.
was only through elementary school. So it's like,
Okay.
so I was actually in a kindergarten class, K1. So like it was a combined class, and so for those first 2 years, I was with Persephone, and then I was with Persephone for the next year, and then it went back and forth. So that's why it had to have been in fourth grade. So yeah, tons of fun.
wow, sounds
Wow.
sounds terrifying.
It was weird. It was who I was and who I am today.
It's part of you, man.
Yep. What about you, Scott? What you got?
First thing that comes to my mind from around that age, that era, I guess, would be I was probably 5 or 6, like 4 or 5 like probably 5 or 6 if I had to guess. And I remember I was staying at my dad's house, and and this was terrifying to me. Um, I look back on it now and kind of laugh about it a little bit, but I remember I was playing one of the Zelda games back on. I mean, this probably had to be the Super Nintendo or something. I mean, this was probably like mid 90s, um, and he said he was going to go out and wash his car, like his truck. So I'm like, okay. So I end up I keep playing Zelda, and after a while, and I don't know how long it was. I don't know if it was 30, 40 minutes. It probably wasn't that long. Um, I look outside and I see his truck's not there, and like he just left me. And I started freaking out again. I'm like, 4, 5, 6, something like that. And then I started freaking out, and I waited a little bit, and he never came back. So I end up I end up calling the cops, and I'm sure the first time I've ever had to call 911 um, in my life, and they end up showing up, and then shortly, like a few minutes after they show up, my dad comes back, and I'm like, "What the heck? Like, where were you, dude?" And he was like, "I was washing the truck, man, and then I took it around the block for a spin or something like that." I can't remember the excuse, but he was definitely gone longer
Ooh,
than that.
ooh.
So that freaked me out. So now whenever I think of the game like The Legend of Zelda, most of the time I think about that too for a split second. it was
Wait,
it was
wait,
horrible. It was terrifying.
wait. Your father left you home alone, sub 10.
Yes.
Wow.
Did the cops not have words for him? They
I
had to
see. I
have.
was I was so young. I don't remember what they said. I can't remember, but he like explained it off as you know, I think it was
I
something
mean,
like he took it, maybe he drove it around to dry it off. But dude, I was like, even at that age, I was like, man, you were gone way too long for that. Like he was gone for a while. So yeah, when I think of Zelda games now, I kind of think of that and don't really like it.
I'm
Yeah, so
sorry.
now,
yeah,
we'll
that fucking
thank you.
sucks, dude.
Yeah, sorry to get like kind of like, you know,
Don't that
not
this
dark,
that's the
but
thing.
This-
It's a
this-
it's a memorable memory in your lifetime, and that's what we want to hear. We want to hear stuff that's like it sticks with you, and like why.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was like the first thing that came to mind. I don't know why. I don't think about it a lot, but yeah, it was traumatizing, and I felt like I was doing the right thing by, calling 911. That's what I was, that's what they teach you as a kid. Like, hey, if there's any issues, do this or whatever. But like I said, he'd been gone for a while, and I don't know exactly what he was doing, and I don't know if calling 911 was the right thing to do, but I did it. So, yeah, I think about that
All right.
sometimes.
Well, Matt, are you going to judge this, or are you going to wait till the end? What is your thoughts?
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about it. I am gonna judge this, and I'm gonna give me a hot second to grab my scorecard. No, I have a computer right here. Let's see. I'm just gonna give you each 5 points. You both earned such great stories. So I'm just gonna give you both 5 points for the moment.
Okay.
Right.
I'll take
Well,
5 points.
Well, I have the next 10 years, so from 10 until 19. All right. So I have a story. I got to be a headless clown. So shortly after breaking my collarbone from the car accident, from the car surfing incident where I lost my memory when I fell off the car and broke my collarbone, I was in band class. All right. So this one time at band camp, I wasn't allowed to play my instrument because I used to play saxophone at that time, which hung around your neck, and then like where your arms were, my collarbone being
Nice.
broken, I couldn't play my instrument. It was too heavy. It was actually pulling down on my shoulder because of how it was laying across me and everything. So for, the 8 weeks it took for my collarbone to get all fixed up, I wasn't able to play an instrument. I literally just sat in band class every day, just sitting there. I did absolutely nothing. But during that
Easy
time,
day.
it was. During that time, I was also still expected to be part of marching band. And easy A. It kind of was and kind of wasn't. My band director, at one point, he was giving me Fs because he's like, "You're not doing anything." And I'm like, "What do you want me to do? I'm in your class. They wouldn't let me transfer out. What do you expect me to do? I can't play any of these instruments. I only know this one, and I literally
Couldn't play a
can't hold it."
xylophone? You can't play
No,
a xylophone?
I wouldn't know how, and he wasn't going to teach
Oh.
me. So at one point in time, he tried to fail me, and I grabbed my mom and I'm like, "Hey, he's trying to fail me," and she went, "That ain't happening." So she yelled at him about that, and he changed my grade to an A because what else are you going to do, right? But I was still part of marching band because anyone at our school who was in band had to be in marching band. So I had to be in marching band. So I was like walking around in my sling, right? Just like, what do you guys want me to do? And they're like, we're doing the. Have you guys heard of Cirque du Soleil?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Very
we're
impressive stuff.
we were doing Cirque du Soleil. We were doing Quidam, which has a headless clown who walks around with an umbrella, and a giant trench coat. That's all he does. He's just a little spectacle, right? So during one of our sessions, they're like, "Do you want to be a headless clown?" And I was like, "I guess." So they got together and they made they bought a trench coat, they dyed it blue, they cut a little hole in the center of it so I could see out of that, and they gave me an umbrella, and I had to just walk around, and I had to make sure I didn't run into anybody. So I'm walking around with this umbrella. I had to do it left-handed because my right arm was messed up. And like someone had a solo. One of our friends who played the saxophone had a solo, and I ended up like, I would just walk around, and then at one point in time, I'd like walk over, like pretend like I was holding the umbrella up over her, and then I had to walk away. And during all this, I had to make sure not to run into a bunch of people that I couldn't see out of a hole this big. And so I had to hit my marks every single time. And it was one of those things. It took a lot of work on everybody else to make sure they didn't run me over as well. But it's like trying to hit your marks when all you can see is this is awful, guys. But it was hands down one of the funnest things I ever had to do because first off, I didn't actually have to participate in band, so I didn't have to play my instrument or anything. Second off, I got to just hang out, have fun, and even during practice, it's like, cool, walk over here, I'm done. It was super easy. It was so much fun, and given the choice to do it again or to play my instrument, I would 100% do it again. I'd be a headless clown. I wish I could find pictures of this. My mom might have some. I'll try to see if she has any. If I do, I'll insert it here somehow.
Wow, you enjoyed that. I thought you were going to say that was terrifying, dude.
Oh god, it was
Sounds
so much
terrifying.
fun. Oh,
So
it was
you
so
had
much fun.
being a headless clown holding an umbrella in the rain over
Yeah.
people.
It was great. It was a lot of fun. And of
Okay.
course, you got to listen
Wow.
to the Cirque du Soleil music, which is really good music.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know,
Yeah.
Headless
I just
clown.
what I really wanted to do though is I wanted them to get me one of those giant hoops that I could like stand inside and
Yeah.
like go all the way over. Yeah, that would have been really fun. I would have been rolling that hoop all around, doing tricks with it and such, but busted arm, couldn't do it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt, you got anything?
Oh man, 10 to 19, that is like some of the biggest memories and biggest stories. And I'm trying to sit here and thinking, which one should I even do? Because I know we're going to use fake names here. So hopefully like I'm not like, infringing on anyone's privacy. I feel like I should almost ask people, can I talk about your story before on my
No,
podcast?
just make up names and keep going.
Make up names? Okay. So piggybacking off your failed first kiss, Daniel. I'm actually going to share my failed first kiss because there's just so many stories. But because you said that one, I feel like I should piggyback off that.
Hey, if that's what you want to do. So what happened with you and Persephone?
So with me and Persephone, different Persephone, a much shorter Persephone.
How much
Very
shorter
short.
Persephone?
Yes. Actually, she's probably about the same height as the 7-year-old other Persephone from elementary school. She was very short. Anyway, it's high school.
Okay.
And there's Persephone. She's very short. And she's cute. But we had theater together. And we were supposed to do a one-act play called Here We Are. And it was supposed to be like a honeymooning couple on like a train. And like we're supposed to be all cuddly and kissy and whatever. And talking about our family relationships and whatever and blah on this train. And that's the play. It's a one-act play. It's like 20 minutes. And the problem was, though, that we have to be like very kissy for like a lot of these scenes. And I was 16 and I had never been kissed before. And with high functioning autism, especially as bad as my autism was back then, physical touch, especially physical touch with kissing and women in general, just anything dating related, is very extremely extra daunting. And even though I thought she's kind of cute and I'd never been kissed before and I wanted to have that experience at the same time, I was so autistically absolutely horrified by, what is it going to feel like? Is it going to suck? Am I going to suck? Oh my gosh, oh no. And so like I was so like you, Daniel, like every time she went in for the kiss, I was like, like I was so skittish, and our theater teacher was like, no, come on, just kiss her, just kiss her, and I'd be like, and I don't know, I literally don't know what came over me, and it was like an hour and a half of this, and then finally my theater teacher was just like, I think we're gonna put Persephone in a different group, and Matt, we're gonna put you in a different group. And we'll have you both do 2 different one acts with the other 2 groups, and we'll scratch this one. And I felt so bad, and I felt so embarrassed that because I couldn't get over my mind at the time, that I never had I could have had my first kiss at 16 with that Persephone. Instead, I didn't have my first kiss till I was 20. So I could have had my
right?
first with Persephone. So
Yeah.
I very much look back and regret on I've got a list of like my top 10 biggest regrets. Man, do I have some regrets in my life. Definitely one of my top 5 regrets is not kissing Persephone when I was 16 for the one I played, because I would have gained my confidence more for dating. I probably would have maybe even have had some more success and actually dated than in high school, which is before I didn't until I was 20. And so that's one of my greatest regrets. But yeah, that's my failed first kiss. Yay, autism.
To be
Oh.
fair, I think, yeah, regardless if anyone has autism or not, I think that's still scary. So, you know,
The
in your
first
defense,
kiss is always nerve-wracking. It has
Yeah.
to be, because it's something you've
You
never
don't
done before.
know. Yeah.
If you do everything you've never done before perfectly the first time and without feeling nervous about it ever, especially when it's interacting with another person, something is wrong.
Yeah.
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 So no, it was nerve wracking. Yeah.
All right. So Scott, what do you got for us?
this one I think is going to be this one will be less boring than this is no kissing story or anything, but I think it was a definitely a very defining time in my life. So when I think of that period from 10, what was it, 10 to 19?
Yes.
I think of my first time getting a job ever, 16 years old. Was terrified. I didn't want to get a job.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually ended up being in a previous episode I was talking about the haunted grocery store. It was there.
Oh,
Yeah, so
okay.
it was there. That was my first job ever. Working at a grocery store. I was extremely scared because I had to interact with so many. It's retail. I had to interact with so many people, and
Mhm.
in school I'd interacted with a lot of people. I've always been a pretty social guy. You know what I mean? But it was just something different about complete strangers you have to interact with, and then not wanting to do a bad job or anything like that. But I remember I was 16, first job. I was a bagger on the front end for that grocery store, and the first day, I would like it. Maybe it was a couple hours into my shift. I was bagging, and an older lady came up, and I was bagging for her, and I can't remember what I did wrong, but it's not like I put like potatoes on top of bread or eggs or I mean nothing, nothing crazy, but I forgot what I did, but I guess I bagged her stuff wrong somehow. And like I said, this was probably a couple hours into my shift, very first shift. And she started like getting real, like she didn't like yell at me, but it was like kind of yelling, but kind of not. Like she was getting kind of like it was a little rude. And dude, I started freaking out because I was already freaking out, and then on top of that, I was like, man, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. Now I'm having to deal with this, too. And yeah, she just started kind of like being rude to me and stuff, and I felt horrible, dude. Like I was about to cry and just like walk off, like run off. But I didn't. I held it together, and now it's funny because some things are blessings in disguise. Like I'm so glad that I did end up doing the job, and because I knew quite a bit of people that they didn't get their first job until they were in like their early 20s, and it was like this whole really.
If you don't count working for my father, yes.
16.
16, yeah, okay, see that, yeah, and that's a good I think that's a good age. Yeah, it might be a little young, but at the same time it's like your it teaches you so many valuable life lessons, man. Like, so
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't go I wouldn't change anything about it, man. Yeah, like it sucked at the time, but like it turned me into who I am today, a very defining moment in my life. But I mean, probably top 5 defining moments in my life ever. Um, and yeah, I've been working working ever since. So it started off scary and then ended up being uh turning out for the best. I ended up working for that same company for 7 years, by the way.
Oh, you were with
So
them for a while then. Holy
a
crap.
while, yeah.
Wow.
7 years
Since you
there,
were what?
Why did you
16, you
leave?
said?
16.
Why'd you
Um,
leave?
so there were many reasons why I left, and I should have left before I did, but the story on that was I had gotten a promotion and we had agreed to a certain amount of money. And then once the promotion went through, they came back and were like, yeah, we can't give you that money. And it was nowhere close. It wasn't like, oh, we're going to give you 15 cents less per hour or whatever. It wasn't that. It was like several dollars off of what we agreed on. And it was a big promotion. Like, I mean, there were many more duties, you know what I mean? So it definitely wasn't worth it. But so that was one thing. And then just the way they treated you, the management, it was at the time, because management circled in and out, so there were some good ones, some not so good. And then one day, and I knew it was going to get to the point where, and like I said, I should have just left way before then, but I knew it was getting, but I didn't. And I knew it was going to get to a point where I was like, dude, I'm either going to get fired from here or I'm going to quit. Either way, this isn't going to end well. But for some reason, I just kept working there. And one day, it was actually, there was some bad weather, snow and ice, kind of like what we just experienced around here. But anyway, one day they gave me a hard time for I called out for work because of the weather, and they gave me a hard time about it. And then when I ended up working my next year, because I told them, like, I was like, look, if you want to come out here and pick me up, that's fine. You know what I mean? But I can't get there right now. And then I was also, at the time, my car was messed up. So I was using my girlfriend at the time's car. And I was like, dude, I was like, I wouldn't drive in my own car. So I'm sure as hell wouldn't drive someone else's car just in case something happened. I mean, it was pretty bad. It was very icy, snowy, whatever. And then they were trying to give me a hard time over it. And they actually wrote me up one day. The next time I returned for my shift, like the next day, they wrote me up and they had the paper there. And they were like, and I did everything right. I called out. So it was like, really, it was bullshit. Like, they couldn't really do anything anyway. I don't know if they were trying to intimidate me, I have no idea. But I told them, I was like, nope. I was like, I'm not signing this. I'm quitting right now. And then they immediately were like, okay, well, look, don't quit. We'll rip this up right now in front of you. We'll rip this up right now. Forget like it didn't happen. I was like, nope, it's too late, dude. I was like, it's too late. This has been going on for, too long. And that was just the straw that broke the camel's back. So I ended up leaving. I ended up leaving, and yeah, and I think I've only been in that store maybe twice since I left there, and that was like 24. That's been like 11 years. I want to say it's been 11 years ago this month. So I think I've only been back in that store twice, and that was probably a year or two after.
Wow.
So,
dude,
yeah,
I'd
dude,
be so pissed.
Dude, it was horrible, dude.
Yeah.
It was. And then the nerve of them to be like, well, look, we'll rip this up right now. It's like, no, dude, that's not the point. The point is that you're trying to come at me with some bull crap. And it's like, I never miss work unless it's very, like, if I miss work, it's because I can't work. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, some, whatever. Like, I go in there, I bust my ass all the time, and I'd been there for 7 years at that point. And, yeah, and that with everything else throughout the years was just it right there. So I left, and I remember when I got in the car and left, it was really weird. When I got in the car and left, I turned the car on, and the first song that was on the radio was, do you guys remember that song? I think it was, I think the guy's name was like Aloe Black or something like that. It was like, I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Do you remember that? The song was like new.
It sounds it's tingling something in my brain. It sounds familiar, but I'm not quite there. But that is awesome, dude.
No,
yeah,
that was
playing
the
when you
first
left.
song that played.
I mean,
and I was like,
all right, boys. So I'm gonna give you guys both 5 points. Scott, for that I'm the man song coming on exactly at the right time, I'm gonna give you a bonus point. All right. So
Okay.
you got 6, Matt gets 5.
Shout out Aloe Black, I believe was the name. So
nice. We'll have to look that song up so we can listen to it sometime.
Yeah.
All right. That's now Matt, it's your turn.
For 10 to 19. I mean, I'm sorry.
No,
No,
the
I was gonna
next
say,
20
you already did that.
to 20 to 29, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. 20 to 29. So again, man, that is 20 to 29 was actually like where all the biggest stuff of my life happened. And it's like I could talk about Persephone from when I was 20, but that's
Mhm.
so many stories there. I think
You
we're
gotta
gonna
pick one.
fast forward. I think we're gonna fast forward to when I was 25 and talking what you were talking about, Scott, the most iconic moments of your life, right? Most iconic moment that I can think of from like the mid 20s was when I was 25. And there's a retreat center that I really wanted to work at. And it's like a yoga meditation retreat center place up in upstate New York. And I really wanted to work there because I had done a 2-week float there for 2 weeks the year before and was like, this is the most magical, awesome place. This is where I feel like I belong. It's amazing. But it's very hard to get in, like very hard to get in to be a staff member. And they're only open May to October. So every year it's like Hogwarts. You have to keep reapplying to be at Hogwarts again. And so I had applied 2015 for when I was 25 for my first full year, but I did not get in. And I was very disappointed. I was at a space in my life where I really needed to just go explore somewhere else in the world. And I really wanted to go. And lo and behold, it's the phone calls that change your life, right? Have you ever had those, Daniel, Scott, any of you? The
Mhm.
phone calls that change your life was one of those. And apparently someone had dropped out last minute, but they were a supervisor, and I had never been a supervisor before at that time, and I was 25. But I had done cashiering for almost a decade at that point. And the phone rings, and I thought it was actually going to be you, Daniel, because we had just texted about something. So I thought it was you.
I mean, I am
And so-
Mr. Popular, but still.
Yes. And so the phone rings, and I pick up the phone, and this super raspy voice goes, "Hey, buddy." And I thought it was you because you say "Hey, buddy" a lot to me sometimes.
Buddy.
Hey, buddy. So it's like I thought you were just being silly, going, "Hey, buddy." And I was like, "Oh, hey, Danny." I was like, "No, this is this is Bob. This is Bob." Brett. I'm going to say Brett. This is Brett Production. This production department at the retreat center that you really want to work at. And we've had this unexpected dropout where we've had a supervisor drop out. So I've got this potential position for you. You get paid, you get housing, you get all these free classes, you get your 3 meals a day, money to go eat at the cafe if you want. And the experience of a lifetime. Do you want it? And I was like, yes. And he's like, okay, see you in 10 days. Click. And in 10 days, actually, I think it was like more like 19 days, but even still, it was something like 10 or 12 days. I had like 12 days to completely reorient my entire everything to move, essentially.
I remember
Up
when you were
north
romantic with that. Yeah, you were like, I
to-
gotta do all
to-
this stuff.
Yeah, I like instantly had like 12 days to get my acting gear to move up to 1,000 miles north of me to live at a retreat center. I had a cabin room at the time. The other 2 years I did it, it was a tent. But still, to live in my own cabin and things. And it was the phone call that changed your life, because at that retreat center, like 9/10 of all of my best friends all hail from that retreat center. Like the only people outside of that retreat center that are my top 10 closest friends would be you, Daniel, a Persephone, that's a friend, and a Persephone that I dated, which I actually count that one as a halvesies because I met her in Chapel Hill, but then we dated there for a while. But then we both went up to the place, and then we also dated and worked there, and then we came back down and we dated more here, and then broke up. But then we're always friends the other years that we were up there. So she's like a halvesies one. So I have a halvesies one, you, the other Persephone, and the other 7, 8, 9 people are all from that retreat center. Some of the best times of my life, some of the most self-discovering moments of my life. My physical body was in the best shape. I had the biggest muscles. It was just the best, the most freest I've ever felt in my life. it was just the absolute best time of my life, and it all came from that, the phone call that changes your life. It was one of those calls, just the call you remember. So yeah, that's the call I remember. That's like the most life-changing phone call I've ever had in my life. That phone call.
Your muscles aren't too
Yeah.
bad now, so
Why? Thank you.
Oh, see,
Are we all doing that? Come on, Scott, show us a gun. Nice. Look at Scott's guns.
Look at it bulging through his shirt.
All right, who's next?
I think you, big boy.
Me? All right.
Big boy.
So, I'm going to tell you guys about the time I got supervisor at our grocery store.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I don't remember exactly what happened, but
Maybe I can help you.
no. Here. This is great. So, I applied to be a supervisor, and then I left. And by that, I mean me and my Persephone wife. We decided to go and visit another friend in Japan. When we were there, we ended up going to one of the shrines, and they had fortunes you could buy. And so I had bought a fortune. I opened it up and I couldn't read it. And I said, "Hey, Persephone, what does this say?" And that Persephone was like, "It says you're going to get a promotion." I'm like, "Hey, that works." So after our 3 weeks abroad in Japan, checking out all the cool things there, more stories to come on that later. We get home and I find out that I was granted an interview for this position, and I was one of 3 people I interviewed, and of course I got it because that's just how awesome I am. But the most impressive part of that, about 3 weeks later, the company decided to do restructuring, and they fired all of the supervisors and told us we could reapply for our job. So I had been in that position for like a month, maybe. So I'm like, well, great. The people who were already here are going to get it. Even though I technically was fired, I wasn't actually fired. They would just move me back into a team member position. So I would just be, back to being a bagger or whatever. If I didn't get the position. Luckily, out of the 8 people on our team, we were allowed to have 4. Out of the 8 people on our team, either 5 or 6 of them were like, "Nope, I'm going to take the severance package and run." And so me and one of the supervisors stayed. Somebody from a different department moved onto our team, and then we were just down to supervisor. So we went from having 8 to having 3. And it was awesome because all of a sudden I'd only been there for a month. I hadn't really been doing anything because they were just starting to train me. And that was my experience becoming a supervisor.
Wait.
All I had to do was go to Japan and get a fortune saying I was going to get a promotion. And then when I got back, I'm like, yeah, I got this. I already know I have it.
Now remind me, Daniel, at what point in that part of the story, is this the same story? We're talking about the same grocery store. That's the part where I helped you get the job.
I was like,
hey,
you helped me get supervisor. You helped me get the job in the first place.
Yeah, I helped you get into the, I guess, team member at the store.
Yeah, you helped me become
How long were you a team member before you got the supervisor?
2 years.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but it still happened during that time frame of my 20 to 30s.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Still that time. That's what I got lost. Yeah, I was like, you were like talking about Japan. You're talking about super. I'm like, I don't remember that part of how I got you the job.
No, that was 8 years ago now. That I became supervisor. 9 years ago now. So it was about 9 years ago that I went to Japan.
Yeah,
Man, that was a long time ago. Holy crap!
I know. Like I'm thinking about when I went to the retreat center place. I'm like, that was a decade ago. I'm like, that was a whole decade ago. Like, my gosh,
that's crazy.
Oh, all right, Scott, what do you got for us? 20 to 29.
20 to 29. So this is going to be on the tail end of that. I think I was 29, but dude, when COVID happened, that was just crazy to me. That was the craziest thing. It ruined everything. It ruined everything. I was going out. I was very social. We, after work, we were going out at like almost every night, having fun, being super social. And then all of it just like that just stopped. I mean, like that. It was crazy. It was the craziest thing. ever. And it's like you can, so there were so many people that weren't willing to help others out, wearing masks, staying out, staying indoors, like lockdown, quarantine, whatever.
Sheltering in
So,
place.
Right, exactly. There were so many people. It was crazy to see. I think I learned a lot because it was okay. When you see those like those zombie apocalypse shows, movies, whatever, how it's like, how many people do you think will actually like do what's good for the whole team?
Mm-hmm.
And I saw so many people that were like, I'm not saying be happy about wearing the mask or staying in or whatever, but do what's best for everyone. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it was just crazy seeing how many people that weren't team players, and it made me think, like, if this was a zombie movie or something like that, it's like you wouldn't last very long, would you? It goes to show the true colors of people, and it was like, yeah, it was a shitty time and something that was basically never had happened before. I know there was the what was the one in was it the 1920s? There was some kind of a flu that went around or something.
Was that bird flu?
Or
swine
bird
flu?
flu?
It was either bird or swine flu.
A plague?
First thing that came to mind was bird.
The avian flu.
Avian. And then I remember the swine flu. What, that was the H1N1, right?
H1N1, yeah.
Yeah,
that wasn't it was bad, but it wasn't like,
it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't as bad as what COVID did to the world.
No, because it was. I don't. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Daniel, if you could look it up real quick, if you don't mind. But was it? I want to say last I heard it was like 75% of people. Like last year, I heard that like 75% of people on Earth have gotten COVID at least one time, or something staggering, like well over 50%, something ridiculous.
How many people have had COVID in the world?
Yeah, it was something ridiculous, like 70% of people or 60-some%.
Well, those are all going to be documented.
Let's see.
Like how many people have had it at least once?
This is just numbers
Well, whatever
reported.
number it's
World.
going to say,
There
it's
have
going to
been
be
74,000 in the world, according to the WHO. That sounds low. Why does it sound low?
That sounds
I think more people have died from it than that.
Yeah. Is that just what's going on right now? Number of COVID-19 cases reported to the WHO. Oh, that's only in the last 28 days.
Oh, wow.
Total cumulative. There we go. So let's see. 777,000 people have had it. No, wait. This is that's
way
an
more
M. That's an M. 777 million. Yep.
Okay. So
maybe is there
a billion?
Maybe you could put like percent of people that have had COVID, or
put that, and that didn't come up.
Well, you got to realize the numbers. Like, we're never going to know an actual true number because so many people will have had it and never go to the doctor or don't report it, or don't have it and get misdiagnosed as COVID. I mean,
or just didn't show symptoms. Some people were asymptomatic, and that was hard to do.
That number is going to be so fluctuational. It's not going to actually. You can get a ballpark, but you're not going to be able to get like an exact number.
Yeah. Nothing I'm looking at has a percentage, but we're getting close to 1 billion people, 1 billion cases have been had, and some people have gotten it multiple times too.
Yeah, so that's going to be multiple cases, maybe one person or not.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it. I can't remember where I saw it, but I think this was. I mean, it was definitely it definitely was last year or the year before. But yeah, it was just, dude, I don't think anyone's ever seen anything like that to that degree. And I do think that, with us having airplanes and traveling cross countries and continents and whatnot, I'm sure that really just sped up the process of it. Like, I mean, it was, I'm sure you guys remember the very beginning back in like was like November of 2019 or like December, something like that of 2019, how it just started off as like, oh, okay, well, it's just right here. And then next thing you knew, it was, I mean, it didn't take long for it to go everywhere. I
All
mean, it
across the
spread
entire
so
mountain.
fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it was, I mean, I don't know, man. That was, to me, when I think of my 20s, that was probably, I mean, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Just off the top of the head. I mean, it was horrible, and I can only imagine like how it was for, like students, going to school. You know what I mean? Having to, you know, uh, do telelearning or whatever you want to call it. Like they were doing it all online, which just is wild to me. And I know a lot of jobs ended up. There's still jobs to this day that like they're like, okay, well, I mean, you can just keep teleworking because why not? You know what I mean? Like it worked out. You don't need a building now, so I mean, it probably helps out with that. Helps out with that too. But
Yeah,
that was
I
just
mean, I met my wife
crazy.
because of COVID. She had a traveling job beforehand. The moment that lockdown happened, she was no longer allowed to travel for work, so her job went entirely remote, which she has a love-hate relationship with, but it stayed remote. Only when the customer requests that she goes on site does she actually leave. So, over the last 4 years, I think she's only traveled for work like 6 or 7 times. Whereas before, it was every week she was somewhere new.
Yeah, and and uh,
Yeah.
and I mean, why have these people just these employees just sitting in buildings like you're paying for buildings that you don't even need because you can do the same work from home or somewhere else. And it probably makes, I'm sure, boosts morale. I'm sure most people would probably say, hey, yeah, I'd rather do my job from home than have to go out. So I mean, it was crazy what COVID did, man. It introduced us to it changed stuff, dude.
A
Even
new
It was a
with
paradigm
era of
shift.
online ordering. I feel like online
yes,
ordering forever changed because now I can get Five Guys fries through DoorDash delivered straight to my front door, contactless.
or
Yay!
right, don't even have to
But
talk
like,
to any. It's awesome.
yeah,
So that,
and
I
it's
guess
like
that's one.
that idea never would have happened pre-COVID.
Never, because you never saw that before, and
You can never pitch that
and
business model.
yeah, and I remember whenever COVID was still going on, I was like, dude, I hope they don't change this like no contact, this like contactless delivery thing when COVID ends, and everywhere decided to keep it, and I was like, that's awesome at least, so now I don't have to deal with random people bringing stuff to my door, so that's always
Right.
awesome. So I
Mhm.
guess there was a little, you know, something we adapted from that, but yeah, it's just crazy knowing how many people, just won't do what's best for the team, and so I mean, you guys have seen all that videos online of people in Walmart or wherever, and they're like, please put on a mask, and then they freak out, and it's this whole thing, and it's like, dude, put it on or get the hell out. You know what I mean? Like, come on, like, like if you can't wear a mask for 20 minutes while shopping, like come on, man. Plus,
Right.
you can get that stuff delivered right to your door, like Matt said. You know what I mean? So I
Mhm.
think there was just a lot of people
Yeah.
that were trying to start problems with others just for the hell of it, whatever. I don't know why.
And
So
there are some people who have legitimate reasons, but even they would like wear a visor at the very least.
or
You know.
right, something. Right, exactly. And I get that some people have reasons not to wear it, health problems, whatever the case is, but there's no reason to make all that racket, you know?
They were definitely bad actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
definitely some bad eggs out there, that's for sure. So yeah. I don't think anyone will ever forget that, man. It kind of changed the scape of lots of things, man. It was crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah, Bon Jovi. We were talking about Bon Jovi earlier, but John Bon Jovi did a duet with Jennifer Nettles, who's the lead singer of Sugarland, and they did a song
Yes.
called "Do What You Can" that's about COVID. That it's a fantastic song. So
Oh,
yeah, "Do What You Can." It's a
a,
great song.
a
Oh,
straight
I
up
don't know that one.
national treasure, Dolly
Uh-huh.
Parton changed the words to one of her famous songs, from Jolene to Vaccine.
Yes, yes.
That was amazing. She is a national treasure, that woman. I love her so much. What, had you never heard that, Matt?
No, she was on the
Yeah,
Orville
no.
though. You seen the Orville, the show, all the way
Yeah.
through?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's on the Orville. I thought that was great. But no, I never heard that.
No, you need to go listen to her version, her remix of Jolene
COVID
to
version.
Vaccine. Yeah, exactly. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Dolly Parton's definitely a national treasure for
Mhm.
sure.
Like the movie.
Yes. Brendan
It's a bad movie
Fraser,
reference.
Brendan Fraser.
Nicolas Cage.
Brendan Fraser. No, Nicolas
Fraser,
Cage.
Nicolas Cage. Cage. Okay, yeah.
Nicolas Cage.
My bad.
Brendan Fraser
Hey.
just journeyed to the center of the earth.
and the Mummy. Don't forget that.
He was
Hey,
also Bedazzled.
I said it before
And
you
he
guys
did
corrected me. I corrected myself first.
He did a movie with Sadie Sink from Stranger Things. He did a movie with her, and like he looks so completely different. I
Oh,
had
is this
no
The
idea
Whale?
that it was him. Yeah, the wet. Thank you. I couldn't remember the
Oh,
name.
I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it. Don't ruin it for me.
I
no
won't because I
spoilers.
don't know anything about it. I mean, other than I saw the trailer and he looks massively different than
Yes.
he used to when he was like, I'm Mummy and I got big muscular arms. I'm an adventurous whatever person now.
I absolutely love Brendan Fraser as an actor, but there's always one scene in every movie where he just like overacts something and it just takes me out of the moment every single time. Every single time there's one
Yeah.
scene in every movie. Like at one point in time, like I think it was in The Mummy, he's like screaming at something, but he's like, ah, instead of like a real scream. He's like, ah. I'm like, you look like a crying baby, not like you're screaming. Like, what is going on here? It's always there's one scene in every movie he does that. I'm just like, I don't understand why.
Yeah, that's like with him, right? I feel like I've heard that. Yeah.
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 Monkey Bones.
It's
That was a
funny.
good movie.
Oh yeah. It's funny, Scott, too. I do realize why you thought Brendan Fraser was Nicolas Cage or vice versa, because those two actors do, like, they look a lot alike, and I feel like they do similar roles, and like they both do like treasure hunting movies and stuff and everything, and I feel like Nicolas Cage, he either overacts or underacts like his role. Like National Treasure, he was perfect.
Yes.
But like but he was perfect in National Treasure, both movies. But in The Sorcerer's Apprentice, I feel like he underacted the role. Like he was just like, I'm just coming to work. Like he didn't really care to do Balthazar. Like he could have done Balthazar, I think, more differently. And then other movies, yeah, I feel like he overacts. It's really funny to watch him on screen.
Yeah, I think Brendan Fraser was the closest I could have gotten it without being right. So, in my defense.
I would have to agree with that, most definitely.
Agreed.
All right.
So does that
that's it for 20 through 29. You want to go ahead and give some
our
points?
last? Yes, I do. Right, because it's flipped in my mind. I would like to give some points. I give each of you 5 points for both really great stories. However, I'm making an addendum to Scott, because you in your 0 through 9 one was such a rough childhood piece. I do want to give you a bonus point for that, which I overlooked in the beginning because I couldn't quite process. It took me a few extra minutes to process these stories and really gather my points. But you get a bonus point because of how rough of a thing, being in the Home Alone movie, but when you're 6.
Terrifying.
Yeah. So currently that puts Scott at 11 for my scores and Daniel at 10.
He's at more than 11.
Well, I think that was just
of the two that I'm hosting. I can only judge the ones I'm doing. I can only judge the ones I'm doing.
But in total, he has more points than that.
I know. I'm saying what points for my points that he has. Points that he's gotten for me. He's got 11, and you've got 10.
All right,
and then he'll have more points. We'll total all the points at the end. But
sure. Okay. So for the sake of time, we got to speed round this last one. All right.
Cool.
So
all right.
First. All right. So in my 30s, so my 4th decade here on this world, the most defining thing that's happened to me is I had a daughter. Woo! So I'm a father now, and she is keeping me up all night, almost every night. It's been great. I love her so much. Babies are a lot. They're exhausting. But I didn't actually watch her come into this world because I was at the other end talking my wife through everything, and there were a lot of doctors and nurses in that room all at the same time. But man, like the first moment that she came out and was placed on my wife's chest and like we got to see our daughter. Oh, my life changed immediately. The moment that crying little baby came into this world, oh, nothing's been the same. And I love it so much, and I hate how exhausted I am all the time because I just want to spend more time with her. And she doesn't
Yeah.
even do anything yet. I'm waiting for her to get big enough to do something.
Yeah, to be able
Yeah.
to talk
Oh,
to her. Now,
Yeah.
when you were holding your wife's hand, is your hand broken now? Like did she,
No,
did you crush
no.
your-
She actually told me to loosen up. So apparently I was gripping her hand too tight.
Normally, that's always the other way around.
All right.
Right.
So speed round.
So-
Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. Mine's easy. Most
Matt.
defining moment that I can remember from 30 to 34 would be my Stranger Things season 4 watch party, which was absolutely phenomenally fantastic because Stranger Things is my #1 favorite show of all time on the planet, and it's also ending this year, and I'm so sad. Like, I'm so excited to see more episodes, but I'm also like, I don't want to watch it because if I watch it, then it'll be over, and I don't want it to be over. But I had a really great time because
things
it
come
was
to an
on
end.
my birthday. It was almost all good things must come to an end. It was on my birthday that Stranger Things Volume 1 came out, and so I rented out an auditorium at my theater that I worked at that time, which Daniel was there for, and we rented the auditorium, and we got the first 3 episodes of Stranger Things Season 4 on the big screen.
It was
And we had
awesome.
food, and
It
we had
really
snacks.
was.
It was awesome. It was such a cool experience. So that was my big thing from in my 30s. That's the biggest thing I can remember.
All right. Scott, what you got?
I've got nothing for my 30s yet, man. You know, we're early on and stay tuned, I guess. But yeah, I've got really nothing super
Stay
memorable.
tuned.
You know? Yeah, stay tuned.
You haven't gotten in a fight with anyone yet? Thrown
dude.
down and just wreck somebody? Nothing? All right.
No, nothing crazy, which is good.
I think Daniel, I think this is a great thing. We're gonna have like another 10 episodes, and then we'll have a callback to this episode. Scott will have had something new happen in his 30s and be like, I have this
Finally,
story I want to share. And
the
be like,
thing has
that's your
come back."
story. Yes.
All right, that's fine. The best
nothing
is
yet.
yet to come. Quoting whatever her
Yes.
name was for that political thing that we're not going
Or
to talk about.
Brian Adams.
Sure, that's probably a much better thing for that. All right, so Matt, you're going to get 7 points because you know that renting out a theater just so you can watch your favorite show with your friends is just such a baller thing to do, especially on your birthday.
That's
But
so
it was
cool.
post-COVID. It already was pre-established. That new system was pre-established because of COVID. Renting out auditoriums did not exist pre-COVID.
And for the best yet to come, you know, the continuation of this topic into a future episode. Oh, no. We're not going to give you a goose egg.
You're just gonna take points away. Perfect.
Oh, if that's what you really want, I can do that. Do you want me to take points away from you, Scott?
No.
Okay, fine. We're gonna give you two. We're gonna give you 2 points.
2 points.
All right.
Thank you. Okay. I just feel bummed that I've got nothing yet. You know, like I said, ever since
Wait.
COVID happened, you know, it's just
I
you
need to
know.
change that. It's not 2 points. It's 4 points. 1 point for each year.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, if my count is right, Scott, you have 21 points, making you the winner for today.
Oh, nice! Wow. Wow, I still won, even though there was a swing and a miss on my last one. Okay.
Hey, it wasn't a
Very nice.
miss. You told us that there will be more.
Bonus points along the way.
There
Yeah.
will be more.
Yeah,
There will be more.
can't
The
tell you
best is
when.
yet to come.
your 30s are
There's
still
a great
just
sense
started.
of mentality.
Right.
I keep forgetting that you're almost an entire year younger than us.
Close, yeah.
Wait,
Close,
and I'm the
yeah.
oldest here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're May, I'm July, he's December. So he just turned 34.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just turned 24.
Yeah. He's looking great for that
Yeah.
age, man. Man, I
Thank
wish I
you.
looked that good
You know what's
at
funny?
24.
You know what's funny? I had so much happen when I was old, and that can be another episode, but I had so much happen when I was 9 and 10 years old that I never can remember what happened with me when I was 9 and what happened with me when I was 10, so I do it as 9 and 10 years old. So when I'm counting my ages, I'm like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 and 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, whatever. And so like a lot of times I think I'm a year younger all the time than I actually am, because 9 and 10 is 1 year to me.
See,
So
I
right
just
now
go
I
by
think I'm
whatever the
33
year
still.
is. Yeah, I just go by whatever the year is. So it's 2025. I just add 10. I'm 35, even though I'm not yet 35.
You're working on it. Yeah.
I'm working on it. I'll
Working
get
on
there
it,
soon.
working-
I'll
growing
get
on
there
35.
soon. Anyways, all right, Scott, you want to give your 30 seconds?
Yes, I am very excited because yesterday there was an update to a game that me and Daniel and a bunch of our friends play together. Phasmophobia is the game. They added Daniel. I don't know if you know this, but they added so you know on PC how you guys get the speech recognition, the voice recognition.
Yeah.
Apparently they added that into PS5 and consoles and stuff.
Ooh, it only
So
took
now,
them 5 years to do that.
Yeah, right, exactly. So now no more prompts that I have to click. I can actually talk to it. But yeah, it's a great game. Check it out, guys. It's super fun. I've never played a game like that before. It's different, and I love it. Glad that they're still updating it after 5 years now, 2020. So
Yep.
it was a COVID game. So
Hashtag not
excited
sponsored,
for
but
that.
hey, Phasmophobia, if you want to sponsor us, hit us up.
Faz, yeah, let's get it, Faz.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you for listening. Follow, like, subscribe, leave comments down below. Share this with as many people as you can. We're going to try to grow this whenever we can, and we'll see you guys next time.
See you next
Bye.
Next time.
time. Bye.
All right, so that's it for some of the biggest stories of our lives. Some funny, some wild, and some that changed everything. If you've got a story that shaped you, we want to hear it. Leave a comment and tell us what moments shaped your life.